He ruffled the feathers of people in the underworld who coexist with state structures.
And this is in line with this, what you deem as a blueprint that he was trying to come up with to deal with hijacked buildings?
That he was. He wasn't even trying. He was doing it, and he had the right team backing him, and we were on an upward trajectory. We had a solution that clearly isn't good for business, but whose business?
Tell me, what was your relationship with Warwick?
Warwick and I were very close friends. We were also business associates in both the security industry and also other entrepreneurial ventures that we were embarking on.
Talk to me about your thoughts on what happened yesterday, Warwick being there by himself.
It's not like Warwick. Warwick is the sharpest person I know. And it's not like him. He always would tell me when he was going. He never said anything. He was always accompanied by one of our colleagues. It doesn't make sense.
Tell me what Warwick was concentrating on of recent in terms of his entrepreneurial ventures. We've heard that he had security companies. In the entertainment scene, he had a security company called Elite VIP, if I'm not mistaken. But
Imperium.
Imperium, is that it? So he had a security company called Imperium. Tell me a little bit about what he'd been doing.
So at first, Warwick initially began as, I wouldn't necessarily call it an apprentice, but he started very young in the security industry under the guidance of the likes of Olympus and what is now JTVIP, also Bad Boys and Straker, Mr. Arnie Williams. And he eventually found his own footing and wanted to pave his own way, continued to collaborate and work alongside other security structures. With Imperium in particular, he focused primarily on the protection, specialized protection of, call it high-profile celebrities, a niche market that he wanted to really create a blueprint in. But also furthermore, as you know, the state of our CBD was of great concern to Warwick, to us all. And we engaged in numerous conversations around what can we do. And knowing Warwick, anybody knows Warwick is not only is he opinionated, he is solution focused. So he identified, he in fact was approached to establish a way in which a hijacked building owned by a private company, a family-owned building that was currently being managed via the attorneys and an estate. And it was obviously hijacked and it was in disarray. And alongside Warwick and with Warwick's leadership, myself and other, including Mr. Arnie Williams, we all supported Warwick on this journey to creating the blueprint at this building. Essentially what the plan is and going to continue and remains was to audit the building, to establish how many people were occupying the building. That also assisted us, in establishing any health and safety regulatory violations, the state of the building, because we wanted and he had no intention to displace any of the tenants. In fact, we wanted to, and we are still on that mission of, in fact, refurbishing it to make it more conducive for the occupants of that premises. Needless to say, it did come with quite a bit of resistance. I guess when you are dealing with a hijacked building, there's a lot of activities that take place in a hijacked building.
Let's clarify Warwick's role in all of this.
He was contracted to obviously now regulate the building. And by regulating the building, that means now putting security structures in place so that we can monitor the traffic, who's coming in, who's going out, and keep people safe. Further to that, then, there were additional contracts in which he worked, and he outsourced, but he worked directly with plumbers, electricians. Needless to say, there were bursts, there was sabotage happening in the building. Repetitive bursts, and it wasn't just your burst of, a water pipe burst. It was blatantly evident that they were making it difficult for Warwick to be successful in his pursuit to create the blueprint on how to take back hijacked buildings.
Let's talk about these protection orders, because you're quite familiar with what happened in that case of that protection order being registered at Johannesburg Central. Tell me a little bit about what happened there.
Warwick then proceeded to obtain 6 forms for protection orders against particular individuals without necessarily naming, including but not limited to the caretaker and a lady who was who ran the forum for that building.
Tell me a little bit about what you guys were able to unearth.
Allegedly, brothels. There was just weeks prior a rape of a little girl. I am of the view that there may have even been manufacturing, small scale, of paraphernalia, mandrax in particular. They were actually hidden. There were some people that were even unaccounted for during our audit, or we didn't find, because when we started to see, they had like these hidden tunnels within the building. The top of the building where the mechanism for the lift was, there were people living. There was a woman's bed there. I have footage of that, and obviously the wiring up on the top, on the roof, the illegal wiring. But also the landlord allegedly was pocketing rent, along with the leader of the forum. Allegedly, they were pocketing rent. They were making money in more ways than one.
Do you personally think that his murder is going to be solved?
I do. I guess time is going to tell how it's going to be solved. And what measures are going to be taken in order to solve it. I am, for one, can tell you for free that because of the nature, this wasn't a drive-by, this wasn't a shooting at a club. This wasn't some, brawl. This man was on duty, quote unquote, in his professional capacity, and I that should not go over anybody's heads. That when these perpetrators are found, that they should face the full arm of the law. Because this was him in his professional capacity, I just shudder to think what message it would leave about him and his legacy and what he was doing, with us continuing in his name, this blueprint, we have to demonstrate that there are serious consequences to people who, and particularly in this context, who play with the lives, who play God with people's lives, and who take people out, who are restoring our country, one building at a time, one hijacked building at a time. Because we're not going to stop. This is not whoever's trying to scare us. Where's your moral compass pointing? All we're trying to do is make women and children safe again, to give and to create conducive environments for those who don't have, those who are living in poor conditions. We're just trying to make it a better place.